All right, shalom everybody. What's going on? It's Wednesday. It's not Shabbat. Wednesdays are normally my days off, but I gotta pay rent, so I'm trying to push myself to try to push myself to earn a little bit more money. Whatever the case, normally I would take this day off, but being outside today, you know, I had a lot of energy coming at me, so I felt like it was time to actually talk about this. So now getting in rabbi mode, I would apologize to all of the people that are leaders of nations and leaders of that whatever. You're leaders of nations and you run things and you're rich and you know, I'm still my people are still captives, but I'm the leader or the king of my people. So you have your people that you govern and you're the royalty and the kings, whatever the case over them, and I'm the king over my people. So now I have to get in my position, get in my role, and come out of humility and meekness for a second. And one day I'll talk about how there was one king of the nation of Israel, that when we went into captivity, they just basically blotted out his eyes. Not Samson. They blotted out his eyes and kept him alive, and he sat at the king's table of that they were captives in, the people of the that they were captives in. He sat at the king's table and ate of the best foods and etc etc. And they because they needed him to keep the nation of Israel in check. So he was a representative, like how it would be today in America, like your Martin Luther Kings and your motivational speakers, people of leadership that keep the people in check. Otherwise, it would always be a contention or war internally or whatever the case. So they kept him alive, but he still was the king at the time that he was reigning of Israel. And it was split. The kingdom was split at the time, but he was the king. So I'll go into that another time. I might have been the time of Nehemiah, or Nehemiah, as you say, in Ezra. So I'll go and be sure later. But for now, I'll talk about, because I had to say that as far as like me claiming what I'm claiming, but I'm the one to do it. It's not that I'm the only one that can do it. It's that I'm trusted, and my character is better than every brother that is a Hebrew Israelite, as you, for lack of better terms. You know, Abarim Yashra'alim is the proper term of our nationality. That's what you would call us, Abarim, Hebrews, as they say in English wrongfully. But Abarim Yashra'alim, okay? Not Israel. But for lack of better terms, we say Israel because that's what people understand. It's still spelled the same way though. So if you spell it right, we can pronounce it the way we pronounce it. So it's no difference. It's just hijacked. And so a stolen identity has caused a war with Falestine, and we can't even claim ourselves. I can't. It's like they try to make us afraid to claim ourselves. Like I'm an Israelite. I'm from the tribe of this or the tribe of that, or I'm one of the children of Israel. I'm related to King David, or I'm related to and they try to make us afraid to claim ourselves, because they have a lot of numbers with Islam. But don't be afraid, don't be afraid to claim yourself and speak up for who you are. You are who you are. You can't be anything else but who you are anyway. So don't let them make you afraid. It's just a fear tactic. They just want a lot of numbers in Islam, and they want to conquer the world, basically. That's all it is. Same story. America conquered the world at one point. They want to be the next ones to conquer the world, but people that conquer the world get the same outcome. You end up failing in the end. People don't trust you anymore. There's internal issues, and then somebody from the inside destroy your situation. It's always that. It's always the story. So people need to stop wanting to conquer. Anyway, that's an introduction, and let's just get into it. All right, so we're gonna talk about haram. Okay, so I'm titling this Melik Haram. Okay, Melik Haram. All right, some say haram, but it's not actually called haram. It's Chiram. Okay, so that's the name of the king of Palestine at the time of Dawad. This was um this was the time where Melek Dawad gets into his position, and he's fighting to be, fighting, his own people or whatever the case, and they're trying to keep him out from his own city, and he's going into Zion. They felt like he was a clown, and it was like, he ain't coming up in here, so they felt as though he was a clown, you know. As we read, let's just read it and we'll go into it. So let's just read it. So let's just start at verse 1. So this is Bit Shamuel, chapter 5 or chapter Hey. All right, starting at verse 1 or Aleph, and it says this. And then came all the tribes of Yashrael or Yisrael to Dawad unto Hebron, and spake, saying, Look, we are your bone and your flesh. All right. So this all the tribes saying, we are your bone and your flesh. We are related to you. We're your kin. Okay. Also in time past, when Shaul was Melech over us, sorry. So the old English messed me up. You was he that led out and brought in Israel. Okay, so you led us out and you brought us in. All right, when it came to the war. And the Most High Yah, or Yahweh, said to you, you must feed my people Yashrael, and you must be a captain over Yashrael. So all the elders of Yashrael came to the Melech to Hebron, and Melech Dawad made a league with them in Hebron before Yahweh. And they anointed Dawad Melech over Yashrael. Verse 4. Dawad was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron, he reigned over Yehuda 7 years and 6 months. Okay, it's not Judah, it's Yehuda. All right, so in Hebron, he reigned over Yehuda 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem, he reigned 33 years over all Yashrael and Yehuda. So he was king. There was no split yet. It was over all Yashrael and Yehuda. All right. But we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna get to the point. All right, verse 6. And the Melech and his men went to Jerusalem to the Yebusi or the Yebusi, the inhabitants of the land, which spoke to Dawad, saying, except you take away the blind and the lame, you must not come in here, thinking Dawad cannot come in here. So it was the area that we call Zion today used to be called the area of the Yebusi, so the land of the Yebusim. So if you can locate in the ancient history maps and stuff like that, the Jebusites or the Yebusim, where they lived, that would be where the original temple was built in Zion, the same area that the tribes of the Jebusites dwelt at. So that's what he did. He came in there, tried to speak to the Yebusim. This is ours. Da 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 da. You ain't coming up in here thinking David was a clown. Verse 7. Nevertheless, Dawad took the stronghold of Zion, or to Zion, some say. The same is the city of Dawad. Okay. And Dawad said on that day, whosoever get up to the gutter and smites the Yebusim and the lame and the blind that are hated of Dawad's soul, he will be chief and captain. Wherefore they said, the blind and the lame will not come into the house. Verse 9. So Dawad dwelt in the fort and called it the city of Dawad. And Dawad built round about from Milo and inward. Verse 10. And Dawad went on and grew great, and Yahweh, Elohim of hosts, was with him. Verse 11. And Chiram, king of Zor, so Chiram is Melech of Zor, or the king of Tyre, Zor, sent messengers to Dawad and set of trees and carpenters and masons, and they built Dawad an house. And Dawad perceived that Yahweh had established him Melech over Yashrael, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Yashra'al's sake. So, what's going on here? What's going on here? Even though there wasn't a split at the time, you had Melech Dawad was king over Yashra'al and Yehuda. That's why they said two like that, because it had split eventually. During after Melech Shlomo, after King Solomon's reign, his son reigned, Rehoboam, and he was wicked and evil, and so it caused a split in the kingdom. But before the split happened, there was a person named Chiram. Now, this is the highlight of Islam, okay? Those of you who are supposed to be scholars or whatever the case, I'm talking to y'all. Those of y'all who are just bystanders, just listening, listen. It's just probably way over your head. Probably some Mormons can grasp what I'm saying, so they can kind of keep up, or they're a little bit lagging behind, whatever the case. Or they could be ahead. They could be really knowing where I'm going with this. Whatever the case, whatever level you're on, this is really for the scholars, okay? Even if you're Islamist and you're a scholar and you know the Quran left and right, and you're supposed to be a scholar of the Quran, you should still know this. Who is Chiram? Okay? You should know this, because this is the highlight of where the Islamic faith started to take a turn at years after, years, and then Muhammad came on the scene and all of this extra crazy stuff. It was never a belief system, but it was a king that rose up, or that was risen up, that was governing over the nation of Israel in the area of Falestine. Okay, so in the area of that we call Falestine today was actually part of Yashra'al, or the nation of Israel. It was part of it, but because Melech Melech Chiram was basically king over the people of his side, it was like a little a border there, or like his own little section. He was not there was one person that was we're gonna go into that, but there was one person that was named Chiram, but he wasn't of Syrian or Ashur. He was not of the nation of Ashur or Syria. He was of the nation of Yashra'al, or Israel. And he was one of the ones that helped with the building of the temple and stuff like that. But also Melech Chiram, here we say Chiram, but in the English it says Hiram, but y'all say Haram. So you have Haram police. Who is Haram that you're the police of? And then they make it about food and all kinds of how you're supposed to be modest and your piety and things like that. That's why your piety mimics our piety, or your modesty mimics our modesty. It's the exact same. Well, not the exact, it's similar. Like, I would say like 95, 96% the same as ours. We have fringes that we wear in borders of blue and purple that symbolize that we are the nation of Yashra'al and we serve the Most High Yah. And y'all don't wear fringes and borders of blue to symbolize that you're with Melech Chiram or Haram. Melech Haram. Haram is not just Haram police. He's a king way back in the time of Dawad. Melech Dawad, King David, as you call him wrongfully. So he was a king as well. So you had two kings that were governing the nation of Israel. But this is where you saw it was cordial, because everybody knew who Dawad was. That's why it was cordial. Everybody was against the Philistines. The Philistines were the homosexual race of men. So everybody in the area was against the Philistines, and they said, who better to actually be the king and who was anointed actually of the Most High than Melech Dawad, and he is of the tribe of Yehuda. So everybody knew him. He was famous. So that's why Chiram stepped down. He didn't technically step down, but he stepped back and basically let Dawad take the lead, and he helped him, So, but he had his own area called Falestine, which is why when you go into the lexicon, we're going to click on it. Verse 11, when you go into the lexicon here, the interlinear. Oh, I cut the internet off. Hey, I don't want no pop-ups. That's why I cut the internet off. I'm going to go into the one on my phone. Other phone. This was my cable phone at one point. So the word, where did you go? I'm gonna go to Zor first. So Tyre, it says Tyre, but it's Zor or Zar. Okay? And that's gonna be Hebrew lexicon number H6865. All right, and I'll probably post a screenshot or something up here. Um, and it says naturally it says here Zor, okay, or Zar or Zawar, a rock, a a place in Palestine, Tyrus, but it's actually called Zor or Zawar. And the brown bricks, it just give you the Phoenician city on the Mediterranean coast, whether it be on the Gaza or the Azza area. It sounds like a G, but it's not. And then let's go next to. Actually, we're gonna go deep into Zor. So further is giving you it's saying the same as H6864. So this is H6865. Let's click on 6864 and it's telling us a stone, okay? A stone. Like what kind of stone? Okay? You know, and as if pressed hard or to a point. By implication of use, a knife, flint, sharp stone. So what is the symbolization of the Kaaba stone? You see it as a rock physically, but spiritually it symbolizes Azazel or Azazel, as some say, but Azazel, who is the death god, who is the ball of death that swings this death blade, and many people have seen him. So it's not a secret. So he's a sharp stone. He's a black ball with the sharp, stony blades that cut you. It could take. And so further on, you have the ancient Hebrew that's given you here. This is not the pictograph. This is just the ancient. It has its pictures, but this is ancient. The pictograph is not this. It's more ancient than this. All right, so the first one you have is Zar, then another one is Zar, but it's giving you many different. It's a lot of them, so I'm not gonna go through all of them. Examples. So it's telling you enemy trouble, is what they're saying. But if you skip all the way down to the end, it's gonna give you pain, idol, hinge, you know. So it's saying that this stone is not. It is no good definition for this word, you know, zar or zawar. And in the Brown Briggs, it's saying flint, hard pebble, used as a knife. Okay. In the heavenly sense, it's understood as a little black pebble, that is used as a weapon. Yes, it was understood from the heavenly sense. Just a small little pebbles and stuff. That is this thing, and y'all worship it. Now that's 6864. If we go further to 60, sorry, if we go, yeah, that's 6864. If we go further to the primitive root, which it can get no simple or no primitive than this, 6696, which is zur. Zur is not zor, not it's not zor, but it's zur. Like pronunciations matter, but zur means to cramp, and that is confined. So the cobblestone is cramped, confined in what? A box, literally and figuratively. Sorry, formative and hostile. Okay. Adversary, assault, beset, besiege, bind up, cast, distress, fashion, fortify, enclose, lay siege, put up in bags. Okay. That's disrespectful. I put a lot of y'all deal a lot with bags, but I'm just saying. And it's still in the ancient Hebrews giving you more definitions, the same definitions as before. Trouble, enemy, press, zar. It's still giving you the same definitions as before. And at the end, it's still giving you like pain, hinge, and things like that. A painful messenger, a messenger that hinges. So again, the Brown Briggs give you to bind, besiege, confine, cramp, to secure, to shut in, to shut up, to enclose, to show hostility to, be an adversary, treat as foe, to form, fashion, delineate. All right, and we know. Let me just end with that. Now we know that it said that Ishmael was a wild man. He's a wild man. He's a riotous, ruffian man. He's just He just want to be in control. He just wants to be rough and wild. And that's what Islam is. Anybody that is part of that type of energy, rage, anger, rough, just do what I say. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I just want to control. I just want power type of thing. My women are so beautiful that, you can't touch them. You can't. I will start a war with the whole world if you even touch one of my beautiful women. Sound like Caucasian people, which it does. The same energy that they had to put us in captivity is the same energy that they have that they're trying to go to war with the world, because they have a lot of numbers in Islam. They're going to war with the world using the death god to try to have power and control over the world. But they're leaning more to American customs and cultures. Even though they know what they know and they know the Quran and they speak Arabic or whatever the case, they still lean towards the characteristics and lifestyle of America. You will come to America and compromise your culture to fit in. If your culture really was standing for something pure and pious, you would not compromise. You're not supposed to compromise the integrity of who you are no matter where you go. Not just when people come to your country, they have to, conform to you and compromise. No, don't compromise the integrity of who you are, because morality is the number one thing in the planet. You want to maintain the modesty of your people. That goes with men as well as the women, not just the women, the men too. You can't be sitting up there wearing skinny jeans, tight pants that look like you got a fat butt in your skinny jeans, and I don't even know how you put them on. You in the mirror pulling up your pants, twerking afterwards, like, yeah, I got a fat butt. Like, that's how y'all acting. A bunch of y'all putting on your skinny jeans. Some of y'all are trapped. It's a special case, but a lot of y'all who are free is not. What's the point? If your women have the ability to be modest, how come you don't? That means you're free. You just something going on with your agenda. So it's just stupid. So I'm gonna leave all of the trivial, stupid stuff out, because when it comes to food and McDonald's and all of the stuff that you eat, that's economics. That's not really dealing with religion or belief systems. That's just a money game. You're just angry because money. McDonald's is making more money than you, and you just want to run that. You're trying your hand at conquering the world instead of just stay in your place and become friends and one with the world. But because your belief system is not a peaceful belief system, it's a riotous, very vengeful and angry, and what I'm trying to say. It's just a real evil and deceptive type of religion, masked behind piety and holiness. So a lot of religions are like that in the world. Different cultures have religions that seem peaceful and holy, but really are not, because how they were founded. If you go into history, you really looking for answers, you would see. Okay, now that's just that. Now bringing it back. Now, as we see that verse 11 again, Beit Shamuel, chapter Hay or chapter 5, verse 11 says, and Chiram, Melech of Zor, sent messengers to Dawad, and secretaries and carpenters and masons, and they built Dawad and house. So construction workers and all kinds of, woodworkers and all kind of stuff. People that can just carpenters and, I'm trying to say construction workers and stuff like that, to build infrastructure and to build staying places and things like that. So he helped them out. It was not an enmity there. There was no enmity, no war, no beef. Dawad was super famous. He had every right to be the Melech or the Malak, the king. He had every right to be, so he did not even step in the way of that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the most famous. And he was anointed, not just saying the most famous as we understand fame today. Fame back then was based on your piety, your purity, how holy you were, how your character was upstanding. People can look toward you and rely on you. That was fame back then. So that meant your fame was equal to royalty. Today, fame is just like people just know you just because you just on a camera so much. And if people got you off the camera and didn't stop and they stopped talking about you, you wouldn't be known, or you wouldn't be thought of anymore. But fame always is life lasting. It stands, it brings peace and joy. People love to see you. It brings them joy and peace seeing you famous, and if your character is pure and pious and holy or whatever the case. So that was Melech Dawad, and so he was famous for his holiness, his piety. And so they were like, no, it's gonna be Dawad, So it was that. So he helped them out. Verse 12. And Dawad perceived that the Most High Yah, or Yahweh, had established him king over Yashara'al, and that he had, exalted his kingdom for his people Yashara'al's sake. And Dawad took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem, and after he was come from Hebron, and there were yet sons and daughters born to Dawad. So he had more than one wife. All right. Just a side note as far as the wives, because you might have, and I have feel some energy real quick, like, oh, he had more than one wife. He had concubines, took more concubines and wives. The difference between concubines and wives, there is a difference, okay? Because concubines are women that come from profane backgrounds. They have been repented of the lifestyle that they may have lived, or whatever the case. They're not virgins typically, and wives are always virgins, okay? They're always focused on holy things. Okay, that's what a wife is. She's focused on holy biblical type of work, so she can guide and govern the other women who are less holy, and they are always virgins, physically and spiritually virgins. Concubines are not virgins, but they are repentant women that have come back to a holy way and have cleaned themselves up and are like virgins. They are like virgins. They're just very clean women. They made a mistake, or they made wrong decisions. It was like, I need to get that back, man. I need to clean myself up. So he took him more concubines, women with virgin hearts, and wives, women with virgin hearts and virgin vaginas. All right, out of Jerusalem. Okay. All right, after he was come. So that's why I said out of Jerusalem, because strange women are women that are not holy women. They are not focused on the duties of morality in the Most High and worship to the true Creator. That profane women, or whatever the case. So they're strange women. They have other gods, other deities. They worship other things, the religion and stuff like that. Things that they have statues to worship and stuff. They have images of their gods and stuff that they bow down to. Okay? No, we don't have a Jesus Christ as our image to bow down and worship. He was not the one to worship. Okay? If you were to say a similar form of worship that was directed towards women. Okay, dang, my battery getting low already. That would be the women. Let me try to move in a different location. Battery down. All right. So again, like I was saying, the women were the worshipers of men. Okay, and that's accurate, because men are the heads of women. Okay, a woman must be guided by a man. She must be covered by a man. She must. The beginning stage is your father, and then it always has to be a man covering for a woman. It has to be. So women have a little bit more of a difficult task in life. They have to find a man that can protect their souls and stuff, and to speak for them. So it's different for women. Men, you don't need another man to speak for you. You're a man. You do what you want. Your responsibilities of your choices are on you and stuff like that. Nobody speaks for you except for whatever God you serve. And if your God is fake, it's going to ruin your nation, if your God is not a true creator. So that's all it was. And that's all it is. Everybody has a God. Every nation has a God, a statue of an image of some God that they serve or something like that. That's not a true God, But, yeah, so that's just a little side note for y'all. So strange wives are not women that serve the Most High. Strange wives are women that don't serve the Most High. They serve other gods, false gods. They're strange, okay? They're foreign, to the holy way, profane, as you call it. So, yes, you can take a lot of wives. Otherwise, they would not have. They had the Torah already. So if Dawad had the Torah and it said the same stuff that we read, do not take many wives to yourselves. That's not a new scripture. That's the same scripture that you read, that they read as well. Do not take to yourself many wives. And that's the same scripture. It just was understood in the actual way that it was supposed to be understood, culturally. Do not take to yourself many strange women. Okay? Women that have nothing to do with the holy word. They will not guide the sisters right. They will lead them to some kind of demonic force, some kind of demonic god or deity in the form of some kind of worship in some kind of statue or stone or some crap like that. And these are fallen gods. So these women will lead you and guide you to hell. And those are strange wives. So don't take to yourselves many strange women. If you have women trying to learn and you want to give a woman a chance, okay, you know. But it's special cases that come with that, which is why I say the special cases. Women can come and be like Ruth. She come from a profane background, but she want to give it a shot. So your people will be my people, your God will be my God, or it could be a Rahab, or as you call Rahab. You know what? I'm going to tie the red scarlet scarf right on the window, and if whatever happens, happens, man. They save me, they save me. They don't, they don't. So she came from a perverted background in Jericho and got saved. And so what? She came in, so special cases that come with that. So it said, do not take to yourself many strange wives, women that come from different backgrounds, that is not holy or pious, serving the most high creator, the true creator. And everybody know who the true creator is. I don't know why they keep acting stupid and playing games and catting and acting like they don't hear you and stuff. They just want what they want. It's not necessarily that they want to serve the true creator who made this world and giving them breath in their nostrils. They don't really even think about that. They feel like there's a fighting chance of some crap. Like the gods that they serve is giving them breath to breathe. No. It's just human-mindedness. People that worship statues and idols and rocks, things that you can see, images that you can see, are human-minded people. They're humans. Some of them are just fallen gods that just have and they have an agenda. And they know it's fake. They're just going to run you with it. So they're fallen gods. Otherwise, you are human-minded. You're not realizing that you're worshiping something that's false. Or you just might not be brave enough. Whatever the case. So I don't want to go too deep on that. 30 minutes in. All right, now let's jump. This is just the introduction to who Chiram is. So this is how Chiram is. Zor, verse 11 again, before we jump to the next scripture. And Chiram, Melech of Zor, sent messengers to Dawad, and he helped them build a house. Okay? Now, Zor, as I said, did I get my... Yeah, I got my lexicon phone. Zor, as we read, as I gave it to you, H6865, proper noun. This is the proper noun of it. Zor is a place in Falestine. So there should be a place called Zor or Zoar. Whatever your accent may be, it should be a place like that. On the Mediterranean, what did it say? The Phoenician city on the Mediterranean coast. Should be on the Gaza Strip. Somewhere on the coast. All right. And that's the introduction of Melech Chiram. All right. And that's Falestine. Let's continue on. What did I say? This the other verse again. Aleph Melekim. Yeah. All right. 1 Kings, chapter 7, I believe. Yeah. Zadi. Well, no. Zayin, sorry. Not Zadi. Zayin. Zayin 7. All right. So, Aleph Melekim Zayin, chapter 7 and 45. So, at this time, Shalomo, Melech Shalomo or Shaluma or Shalama, okay? Different accents, as long as you spell it right, okay? So, Melech Shalomo or Shalama is building the temple because his father's hands have seen blood, and that was about his what was his name again? Right on the tip of my brain. Bathsheba's husband. Figured his name, but he was the one that blood was on his hands about. So it wasn't about him going to war with a bunch of Philistines and killing them. It was about that one brother. Even though he had gay tendencies, he still was a brother. He could have been one. Whatever the case, that was mercy that probably should have been given to him. The Most High was feeling, but he had gay tendencies, and there was some strange things about him that was questionable, and so he offended Melech Dawad, by not going to his wife's house to spend the night with his wife, or whatever the case, to love on his wife and to make her joyful and stuff like that. And by chance you might get her pregnant, even though she was already pregnant because of the situation happened. But still, by chance you might get her pregnant because you got to go to war and you might die. So he's thinking all of that, the genuine general way that you would think. But Bathsheba was supposed to be Melech Dawad's anyway from the beginning. He was never supposed to give Bathsheba to him, you know. And the Most High had did a thing that seemed funny, but it was a little bit of a punishment because he knew better, or he had eyes to see, but he was too quick, so he didn't see. It's not like somebody that's ignorant and don't know, like me, a crackhead baby. I just didn't know. I just don't know stuff. And my eyes are, I'm dead. I have a crackhead. So a crackhead baby is a dead baby. You understand? So whatever the case, he had eyes to see. Whatever the case, he just moved too fast, didn't listen to the Most High. And the Most High moved him to reveal the nakedness of Bathsheba. She was veiled by a window, and then he hit the window by accident, trying to hit a bird that was in the way, because he perceived that the devil was in the bird, but he didn't perceive in the beginning that Bathsheba was supposed to be his wife. That's why the Most High was mad about that. So he took that, used that to his advantage, and then got one up on him. And so he saw Bathsheba naked, and then the flame got into his soul. That's but the flame that got into his soul was a holy flame that was like, this is my wife. It's just that when he realized it, once that happened, oh snap, this is my wife from before Earth. Like, he realized that he had a wife before he came to Earth, and all of the 144,000 have wives and families before they are born here. We existed before we came here, so it's not a new thing. So when you see one of the 144,000 coming to the planet Earth, it's a little bit different. You're just not marrying anybody and stuff, man. You're not just doing anything. You're here for a super special mission because you already have wives and children and families and stuff already. So the emotions are so strong that it resonates in the physical form, and it depicts the fate of your life. That's where fate come from. Like, who are you before you were born? Otherwise you still have a chance to create a fate for yourself if you're no one. You're like a human. But he was Melech Dawad. The Most High was angry and stuff. Like, dang, that's your wife, boy. He ain't even know, because you on Earth now, living the Earth life, and you forgot the memories and stuff. And he remembered right at that moment and saw her naked, washing and bathing. He was like, oh snap, it's my wife. And he already had gave her to another man to marry. And so that happened. But that's what happened. And then blah blah blah, the story goes, and then bam bam bam, it comes to the point. He brings him in, and he's like, so long as my he's making vows and stuff. So long as my soul lives and my da 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 da, and you're the king of, I won't go and spend time with my wife because the other soldiers can't spend time with their wives. And he's making a good speech, or whatever the case. So the speech was so good, Melech Dawad set him up. He set a feast, and so he invited him to the feast. Come to my banquet, my feast, and all this and all that. And he went to the feast and got drunk. And then he got so drunk that he laid on the steps of King David's house and went to sleep on the steps. And he's like, hey, go to your wife's house. Why would you sleep on my steps? And you have a house. You're not homeless. You just, you're a soldier. Come back. And he's like, nah, I'd rather sleep in there with the armor bearers. So he went in there with the armor bearers, and the King David got offended that you would get drunk at my house and then go spend time in the room full of men with the armor bearers, and then eased himself, meaning he ejaculated. So what was so intimate and what was so arousing that you eased yourself in the same place that the armor bearers was at? Was you having sex with one of the armor bearers? Because why are you busting nuts in the area with the armor bearers? This is part of the stories you're just not telling you. But he eased himself. He busted a nut. And how did anybody know? Somebody had to say something. So people had gay tendencies even in Israel. They had, sugar in their tank. So somebody, he put some sugar in somebody's tank. He eased himself in the quarters with the armor bearers, where they were getting ready to go out to war and be the armor bearers for the soldiers that's already out there at war, because they were now of age, young and 20 and stuff like that. Instead of go to his wife house and ease himself in his wife, he went to the armor bearers' quarters. That's gay. 100%. That's gay. Why would you go in a place with a bunch of men, what I'm trying to say, a burden, or whatever, a sleeping quarters with a bunch of men, and you feeling aroused, your dick hard as ever. You know what I'm saying? You feeling like, yeah, I need to get this out. Even if you felt like you need to beat your dick and get it out. But how did you beat your dick? Did you masturbate? Did you have sex with? You ease yourself, meaning you bust a nut. However you look at that, you're around a bunch of men. There's no arousal with a man around a bunch of men. You're not feeling horny. You know what I'm saying? So how did that happen like that? When I was in the military, I couldn't do it either. Like you don't feel that. If you're a straight man, you don't feel intimate energy around a bunch of men. You in the sleeping quarters, it's about 25, 30 men in this one room, all smelling funny, coughing and choking and all kinds of gas and farts and stuff like that. Everybody is just men in this sleeping quarters. You know what I'm saying? Every time you turn around, you see another man over there or over here, over there. So you're not horny. It's just a bunch of men. And you sleeping. And then you wake up. You thinking like they might try to do something to you. You're not thinking, yeah, he's sexy or some crap like that. You know what I'm saying? So your dick getting hard. So like you was never feeling it. So you would not ease yourself in the quarters with around a bunch of men or whatever the case. And you had the opportunity to go to your wife. So it was a choice there. So he offended King David. So his offense was genuine. But it's just how the way it happened, the Most High still, put it on him, but did not take his life. And the Most High set it up that way because he overlooked his wife from before he was born on earth. It was like heavenly adultery. While he's on earth, he still counted it as adultery, but couldn't really count it as adultery because he on earth living another life. So we gonna have to play this funny because I'm still emotional and I remember, even though he forgot, I remember. So we gonna get him, Bathsheba. Hold on, we gonna do it like this. We gonna do this, that, set it up, this, and take it so far, but not go so far to take his life. That's how the Most High, he's really, you know what I'm saying? The memories that we have before we were born, very severe. Sorry I had to take that little back road for a second to let you know that it's important, those memories, who you are, who you were, and life just continues, creation just continue, and you come into new creations. Angels were here before humans, and angels come into earth, and they're just like, okay, humans, and they here to do something, but they had lives before humans existed, so there are memories there. And so does the Most High Father. He was always there. So there are memories and things he created. You don't just throw those out the window. You don't throw your memories out the window. You turn them into liquid like the ocean. And each drop is a memory, a special memory. Each drop of water is a special memory. And you talk about the ocean, both Atlantic and Pacific, and everything else, and the Antarctic ring that's frozen memories. All of those are memories. That's what memories are. Mem means water. Mem, or, is light. E is the Y, which is the I. Memory, the things that you remember in your mind. The mem, the water in your mind. The mem, the or, the light in your mind to give you vision. And the I, your third eye. Memory. That's what memory means. Okay? The things you remember from before. All right, so special things, man. So he did that, went so far, but he set it up like that because the guy was, gay, and it's crazy. So he was able to spare his life, keep Bathsheba, and that's how Bathsheba ended up having King Solomon. King Solomon ended up being the king because that was his wife before he was born. So even though it didn't seem like Bathsheba was the most special one, she was the most special one out of everyone. That's why the son that he had with Bathsheba became king. Because this is my wife before I was born into planet Earth. Way before I came to Earth, this is my wife. We did everything together. So you can't throw that out the window. The universe and all kind of stuff that was existing, the war that happened, all that stuff. Even us might have had interactions with us. We just don't probably remember because we on Earth now. You never know. A lot of stuff happened, man. All right, so continuing on. I know I went so far. It's a crazy back road. But I wanted to start at 45, right? All right, I wanted to start at 45. I'm going to start at 40 and then jump down. All right, so Aleph, Melakim, chapter 7. Zayin. Starting at verse 40 and says this, and Chiram made the lavas and the shovels and the basins. So Chiram made an end of doing all the work he made King Shalama or Shanuma, Solomon, Shalomo. Sorry, I had to say that for all of y'all. But I'm going to say Shalama, all right? So just, there's no vowel pointings. I'm just saying it as the letters are. Shalama. All right, not with Solomon. There's no N in the end. It's no N at the end. It's a hey at the end, so it should say Shalama. Anyway, you know, trivial stuff. Y'all too petty. So Hiram made an end of doing all the work that he made Melech Shalama for the house of Yahweh. Okay, so so he's done all of the work. Hiram is the same Hiram, but then there's also a Hiram, which is this one that was an Israelite. So the name is it's a common name, a little bit of a common name. All right, but we know that the other Hiram, that was Melech Hiram of Falestine, helped Melech Dawad, and this is the other Hiram who's here. So these other two Hiram are Syrians that did partake in the helping of the temple as well. So there are three Hirams. One is an Israelite and two are Syrians. All right, from the land of Ashur, the nation Ashur. All right, so you got three here. All right, and then the chapters, We got going to the chapters and stuff right now. Then we're gonna skip down to 45. And the pots and the shovels and the basins and all these vessels which Chiram made to Melech Shalomo or Shalama for the house of Yahweh were of bright brass. All right, so this is here where you see Chiram again. Now, when you hear of one Chiram, you hear of all of them when you're talking about Israel, because they all partook in helping them build themselves up and build their infrastructure. They came to help. All right. And also they can dwell in the land of Israel, or Yashra'al and stuff like that. And there were mixed breeding. Okay, so a lot of the Philistines or the Palestinians, or people of Palestine or I want to say Hebrew and English at the same time. Sorry, but the people of Palestine are mixed all up. So you're not looking at people that are just, how can I put it? Because it's like a lot of re-education and trying to tell you the story at the same time. Okay, Islam or being a Muslim is not a nationality. Even though they say the nation of Islam, they're trying to make it a nation because it's not a nation. That's why they're so hard on the nation of Islam, but it's not a nation. They're trying to do what America did, but Palestine, or the people of Palestine, are Assyrian and Hebrews. They are of the tribes, the 12 tribes. So your nationality or your bloodline has nothing to do with your belief system of being a Muslim, which is how people are Muslims in Asia. Japanese people are Muslims. Like, we're part of the nation of Islam, but you're Japanese. So it's not necessarily a nationality if it's a religion. You know what I'm saying? Religions are not nationalities. You're a Christian, but you're a Chinese. Korean Christians. It's not a nationality, which is how you can say your nationality than your religious belief. So no, stop mixing the two. So don't get caught up with the deception of Nation of Islam thinking it's an actual nationality. No, your blood and your DNA is your blood and your DNA, and what you believe is what you believe. But Hiram was from Ashur. He was Syrian. And then you had the one that was Yashra'al. He was an Israelite. He was from Benjamin. So that's the little hint at Queen's Flip when he did the little thing in the little in the auto spot. That was a little clue for y'all, letting y'all know there are three Hirams. There are three versions. You have the one of Benjamin, and Queen's Flip is Benjamin. He's Benjamin, Jamaican, as you call it today. He's Benjamin. And then you had the others that are there who are of Chiram, they're Syrians. They're trying to tell you that before I even did the little story. So it's just waiting for me to tell you the information, the genealogy, all of the details, the Hebrew details and stuff. Something that they know that I would know, or be able to come to the conclusion of being a rabbi. I should know this, right? And I do. All right, so, and that's the second part. But I just wanted to let y'all know that when you say haram and when you say Islam, it's really, today, modern day, it's based from Melech Chiram, the king called Hiram. Okay, so Hiram police are people that served King Hiram, who was the king of Palestine. The very beginning of Palestine, how it started, he became the king of that Palestine. All right, and they were peaceful because they knew Dawad, and he's the Melech of Yisrael or Yashra'al at the time. So he stepped back, and then they had an affinity. They were teammates. They teamed up. There was no problems. But and also what you see is that the main thing I wanted to point out of all of that information, the main thing I want to point out is that he's helping him build the temple of the Most High Yah. So there were no confusions back then as well, as far as who was the true creator. There were no confusions. But there's confusion today because the people that are the descendants of Melek Haram or Malak Haram, they invented their own belief system based off of what his name means and what Zor means. Because he was the king Haram of Zor. So what is Zor? What is Zawar? It's a stone. So we need a stone. Oh, what's the death god, the black stone. And we're gonna. Oh, what else does it mean? All of the meanings that it mean, they actually put it into a belief system to honor Haram. They say Muhammad, but it's just Haram. Back to 11. So yeah. So verse 11. And Haram, Melek of Zor. Okay, king of Zor. So, okay. King of Falestine. Let's go into what Haram means in detail. Man, give me a minute. So we went to Zor. Let's go on to Haram. All right. Haram, okay. The name of two Tyrians, Haram. So you have two pronunciations here in English. You have Haram with an I, and then you have Haram with a U. And then y'all say Haram with an A. Trying to hide things, But in the Brown Briggs, it gives more definition here. It says Haram means noble, a noble person. Another definition says the king of Zor, who sent workmen and materials to Jerusalem to build both the palace for Dawad and the temple for Shalama. So he was not confused on who was the true creator. He was not confused on belief systems. He knew who the Most High was. So he sent people to help them build a temple for the Most High. Why are y'all stupid today? You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to do your own thing so bad that you want to attack McDonald's and Burger King, who supports Yashra'al, like your Haram did before. Supports Yashra'al, and he was a Falestine. Probably also why you attack Falestine. It was never about Israel, as to say Israel is the enemy. It just became that because they went into Falestine with a bunch of people who were serving a false deity, knowing the history of Falestine, that the king of Falestine, Chiram, supported Yashra'al way before in ancient times, and y'all probably knew that and wanted to get back on board with that. And then you just standing around attacking Falestine and letting them be attacked, acting like, oh, it's y'all fault in the world and America and McDonald's and Burger King, all because you're mad and you want to hold up your little stupid thing called Islam so bad that you want to get rid of Falestine because you know Falestine is going to team up with Yashra'al. You knew that was going to happen because of the history of Chiram. What happened? He helped Dawad before. And I'm a child of Dawad? Yes. Directly through blood, okay? Melek Shlomo and Queen Sheba. Directly. The Gibsons. So typically the Gibsons are descended from Ethiopians, okay? That's where they got the Gibson crew of slaves from Ethiopia. And we are the ones that are Israel, but our blood of Israel and Ethiopia are specific to Melek Shlomo. It's not just random Israelites, okay? And then you also had history with Haile Selassie and everything that happened in there. But it all is a part of the same story, you know? Another definition is the chief architect and engineer of Shlomo's temple sent by Melek Chiram to Shlomo. So that is also the Israelite Chiram. So Melek Chiram sent an architect who was a master at brasswork, whose name was Chiram. He sent him back to Israel to help his people. So that was family and team and love there. There was no confusion of who the true creator was. Okay? No confusion at all. None. All right. So people that don't know this, you should know this. All right. Now, if we go deeper into it, if we go to H2361, it says whiteness that is noble. Chiram, the name of an Israelite and two Syrians. It just give you that. Son of Bela. Okay, so son of Bela and grandson of Benjamin. Okay. And then number 2, Melech of Zor, allied with Dawad and Shlomo, alternate spelling for Haram. So we're saying it's an alternate spelling for Haram. Okay, Haram is an alternate spelling for Haram. Or Zor is an alternate spelling. Number 3, a chief architect of a Shlomo's temple, alternate spelling for Haram. So they just give you alternate spellings, but it's Chiram with a chet, Haram, not Haram. They just say Haram. All right, so next we're gonna get another root word to this is khir, Hebrew lexicon number 2353, and that is giving you white linen. That's to say something clean. But here is saying burn, something burnt, something that was pure that is burnt, to black. It was pure, it's fallen now, is like burnt. But it also has good connotations, like it's burnt but you have hope. Like it's dying but you have hope. It's falling but it has hope to be repaired. It's a dying plant but me might can repair this. We need to prune this thing or something. So something that's dying that can be repaired or fixed. That's what khir, well, kharar means. No, kharar being kharar now, but that's what sorry, khir, sorry, my throat. Khir means that. Khir. All right, so kharar means to blanch, as with shame, wax, and pale. Okay? Which is the same, you get in definitions here, say burning, and still has a good connotation. Even though it's lost its color or it's lost its purity, it still has hope. Okay? It's burnt. But in the spiritual sense, it's saying that just basically fallen angels, fallen powers that have have second chances and stuff like that. You're looking a mess, but you can be repaired. To be white, glow pale. So you're losing color, you're losing purity, purpose. In earth, it would be you're losing melanin. If you're in the heat of the sun like that, in an area like that, in the heat of the sun, you should have melanin. So you don't have melanin, but you should have melanin, but you have hope. So it's not about your physical appearance, it's about the state of your heart. Okay? So, purpose and intent, second chances. But y'all are mixed with who? The one who looks like a one-sided cooked pancake. That tribe. All right, so I think, what was it, Simeon? Naphtali, one of those tribes. I think it been Naphtali, Manasseh. Which tribe was it, y'all? Y'all bring it back to my memory. One of the tribes, Naphtali, or Manasseh. Naphtali, probably Naphtali. I forget. I don't know. I have to go into it. I haven't been hardcore in my studies and keeping up. Sorry, y'all. But I can find it I can probably find it right now if I want to, but it's not that important right now. But yeah, that's just that mix with a tribe that is look white on the outside, but your Hebrews and your Hebrews and stuff like that. Whatever the case, a way to let you know that all Hebrew Israelites or a lot of the people that are children of Israel are not all brown, dark brown. You're not all dark brown. You're not all ruddy. Brown. Like some of us are brown caramel looking like me, brown. Some of us are dark brown, like African looking, and some of us, kind of pale looking and stuff like that. No melanin, and can't produce melanin, and you have straight hair and stuff like that. So it's different. We are a mix of people, even though we're 12 tribes, we're a mixture of how we look and stuff like that. All right, so I said enough. That's an hour. Um, please stop making it about McDonald's. It's not. And the reason why they said McDonald's supports Israel, they're saying that they support the people of the children of Israel, and anybody that is a Palestinian that still supports Melech Dawad and his purpose and the Most High that he serves. So if you're like Melech Haram, King Haram, you know, and you side with King Chiram, we're gonna destroy you. We're gonna bomb you because if you're with King Chiram, you're for Israel. And then a lot of the Jewish people, some of them are not for, the Israel either. So you have a mix on both sides. You have people that are against Israel on both sides. The true children of Israel, like me, they're against us. So on both sides, you have that. So their team is teamwork on the Jewish side as well as on the Islam side. They're working together against those who are within Israel, who are for the children of Israel, the rabbis and stuff, the Ashkenazim and stuff. They're for the children of Israel. They're trying to help them get home, as well as the Palestinians who know about the history of Melech Haram when he helped Melech Dawad build his own house, and when he sent brass workers to help build the temple of the Lord, the Most High Yah. So yeah, he had a lot to do. Haram had a number one. He had a big foot in the door when it came to building the temple of the Most High. So he's vital. Falestine is extremely vital to the history of the children of Yashra'al. So that's why they hit Falestine like that, And it looks sad and stuff. So it's a connection between us, So McDonald's is for Israel, Yashra'al. So we're not stupid in America. If America's going to say the children of Israel, they're not going to say Jewish people. They're just going to say Jews or Jewish people, and they're going to say Israelis because that's what they say. But if they say the children of Israel, they're going to say it all the way. And that's why McDonald's has the McDonald's box that shows you the woman in the hijab. She has a hijab on and she's brown. And that's why it came out. McDonald's supports Israel, meaning y'all want to be beefing, but he's for Yashra'al, the nation of Israel, the true children of Israel, not the fake people that want to still conquer Ashkenazim, that still want to push us out of our home and keep us slaves in America, and not for the Islamist people who want to push us and keep us in slavery too, or bring us there just to make us slaves and conform to their religious, whatever the case. Just like they did when we ran and came 2,000 years ago when Islam first got started. Convert or die, and that's how they still carrying the same energy, convert or have problems. So it's a big statement, and that war is the number one clash and issue that we have right now on the planet that affects every nation in the world. So that is the most vital situation. So me and a sister, I'm not going to say her name, we have started this situation ever since Turkey and Syria, when the earthquakes came. So anybody that was following Islam and was against, the Most High, they got hit. But those who were for the Most High got saved. So it's been a clash and stuff like that. So right now, we're at the ending stage of the sacrificial work for all of these thousands of years promoting Islam. So now we can get back to serving the Most High Yah, and now blessings can come, increases can come, his benevolence can come upon us, and healing comes and power will follow us, because the way people serve Islam, if you serve the Most High Yah like that and you're still at home in the Middle East, as they call it, how much power would come, especially now that you have a king. I don't know how long I'm going to be risen up or something like that, but yes, if I'm the one to do it, I'm the one to do it, and I am the one to do it. I have been doing it. I have been recognized. I have been acknowledged, even by the Prime Minister of Israel. Acknowledge that this is a child of Dawad, and it all connects. And so it's not a mistake. They pray and get answers too, because they really have a pure intent to get us home. So that the Most High is going to answer them and things like that. So they're not mistaken about me either. It's just everybody's kind of coming along and trying to fit in wherever they can fit in at. All right, so that's just what I had to say. I had to get in my rabbinic mode for a second and just kind of like step on top of everybody for a second, because a lot of times I just like, people keep coming across me, they still have this human mindset of you're a nigger and this and that and whatever the case. People still be stuck, but it's like I'm completely way above your level. I'm just so humble, you can't tell. And that's how people carry it. They still be like, I'm a Mormon, or I'm a Jehovah Witness, or I'm a belief system, I'm a Christian. And I'm like, we on a whole nother level. We on a whole nother level with this thing. Nowhere that you can reach. So it's best that you just kind of like calm down, fit in where you can fit in at, and sit down and just like go with the flow, because you can get hit. It's too heavy for falsehoods right now, or ever again. It's too heavy for falsehoods, deities, and this whole game that y'all, this board game Monopoly, y'all made up gods and deities to economically try to reign over the world with currency and and stuff like that. And that's all it's been about: money, currency, and sex, and the stupid stuff, inclinations of evil, rai, bunch of rai. But whatever the case, um, it's high time now. People need to get yourselves in check, because heaven is moving, for Israel and those who are supporting Israel. And the number one people that supported Yashara'al from the beginning, when Melech Dawad came in, was Falestine. Okay? Melech Haram, King Haram of Zor, which is a place in Palestine on the Mediterranean coast in the Gaza area. All right? So, with that said, this information already is known by other Hebrew Israelites, as you call them, in areas like New York or wherever they from. They study night and day, so they super seasoned up, have more information and details than I do, but at the same time, I know too. And to get this to y'all, it's for y'all to understand, man. It was never about McDonald's. They just want to destroy the children of Israel, because they see that we're waking up and life has come to us. Heaven has come to us, on behalf of someone. And they want to, try to usurp and take advantage. They just want to keep it shut down. Evil people, man. A bunch of jinn type stuff going on. So, whatever the case, man, their own God is going to turn on them. They just don't feel it yet, but if he will, Azazel, the death god that they worship, will turn on them in a minute, because it's painful for them to worship him. So when he's given the decree from heaven to turn on them, he will turn on them. And so it will be a mass level of, dang, what happened to them? People don't realize how things work. You're getting your own people in trouble, that you work like you worshiping these gods, but these gods are going to get in trouble and they're going to turn on you, because they can't fight the Most High Creator. He runs everything. He gives life to all things that live. And y'all so minuscule in your purpose and your thought process, you're trapped in your thoughts and you can't see beyond your bubble. And so you're looking at you like humans, like you'll kill somebody off of a bubble thought process, when your gods that you serve are like, yo, they about to get me in trouble. I'm about to kill these people. You're not realizing. Humans. Y'all act like humans and dogs and stuff like that. For real. The way you think about things, the way you reason about life and people and what's happening around you, the way you reason. It's very environmental, very bubbled in. Because you're feeling like you have this freedom to reign over the whole entire planet and conquer the world and stuff like that, and nobody can stop you. You really feel like that, not realizing that everything is highly monitored from heaven to whatever. You're gonna think that you're gonna make a move here, and then something happens and you make a move over here. You're we're all puppets. You want to make sure that you have the right puppet master, the right marionette. The true God, the right God. That's actually the true God over all the gods, that's puppeting you, so you don't make a wrong move or make a misstep or somebody outstep you. All of these deities, man. So that's the thing, why nobody was able to even conquer America yet, because they had some understanding. But now that I'm here letting you know, you can't outstep the Most High Father. You can outstep me if I make a wrong move, or if I serve the Most High, if I don't serve the Most High genuinely and stuff like that. Yeah, you can outstep me, because that's me. But you can't outstep the Creator who I serve, regardless of who's the messenger or the physical person at the time. Y'all just need to understand history, what's really going on. You making it about McDonald's and Burger King and all kind of bullcrap, not realizing the story. It's all about Yashra'al, the children of Yashra'al, us in America that are slaves, and the Palestinians who helped Melech Dawad from the very beginning, the king of Palestine. So yeah, you just got a bunch of Muslim nations against the king of Palestine. They're against Chiram. Okay? So that's why certain people like Kelsey, she's like by my side real tight because she understands the history that the king of Haran, Melech Haram of Zor, who was the king of Palestine, helped David get into position. He helped him build his stuff back up when they got home. They helped. So she know that there's a connection. If that's how it started, that's how it should stay. You know what I'm saying? So between both sides, the Palestinians and Yasharal, the children of Yasharal, blessings came. Good things came. So yeah, it always was that. So might as well keep it that way, right? So that's why Kelsey and she stay tight, because she know the history. You know about Haram and Haram police and where Haram comes from, and you know where that comes from. All right. Without the king, they was like basically falling off. So now that we getting back on foot, they try to stop it early. The fake Jews, the fake Jewish people that don't like us, pale faced people, and then you have the Islamist people that serve their Kaaba stone so hard, and then the other nations that love their gods so much, your Buddhas, your this, your whatever stones, your Buddhist gods, all kinds of stupid gods that have rock stone images. You should not be able to paint your creator. He's above all things, all images. You should not be able to paint him. Whatever the case, you live within him. So you can't go outside of him to see him, to paint him. You just have messengers that speak. You know him by voices, by his words. You know him by his words. You know that's the creator by what he say and what he's talking about. That's how you have to understand who the Most High Creator is. You'll never see his face, but you will hear his words and what he's speaking and the purpose and the intent, the morality of it. That's what he wants you to know and feel and see. He gave us sons, 144,000 of them, and a king that reigns over all of them in purity and piety. The savior of saviors, the king of kings. He reigns over everything, and we help him govern. You know what I'm saying? And so you see us, you see the Most High Father because of our character. Our character, our words, what we talk about, how we govern people, the purity in our heart, the inclination to do good to people at all times, regardless of what you do to me. I'm always gonna have an inclination in my heart to do good to others. You hurt me, I don't want anybody else to feel that same hurt, so I'm gonna do good to someone else so that they can be like, thank you so much for not hurting me like somebody else did. See what I'm saying? So understand, man. So with that said, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna post this. I'm probably not even gonna show the screenshots because the video's so long, but I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna post this on YouTube. And I'm gonna post this on YouTube. It's not gonna go up on Facebook. They're not gonna let it go, but I'm gonna put it on YouTube. And with that said, shalom. Maybe I have a greater understanding by now about Falestine and the connection between Yashra'al and Falestine and the real children of Israel and stuff like that. You understand, and not just the, I'm trying to say, losing words, but the evil enmity and losing words, but I'm trying to say, the real versus the fake. And Most High Father, desire be done. And we'll leave it like that. Shalom, shalom.